Hey everybody, welcome to your art video for the week of 8/26 to 8/30. So the supplies that you will need while you are watching this video are just some paper of some kind. I've just got I don't know if you can see it. I've got a notebook here, just any kind of paper, and I've just got a pen. Oh, there it is. Got a pen. Okay, but just any paper, any kind of pencil, something to draw with. Okay. Our learning objective for this week is that students will identify and understand the elements of art, including which are line, shape, color, texture, form, space, and value as the fundamentals of art in personal artwork. So basically what the elements of art are building blocks that artists use to create their artwork, okay? And we just said all of them. They're right here on the side: line, shape, form, value, color, texture, and space. So I have given you a link to this notebook. It should be right under this video in the announcements, and it should also be in your weekly email. So why don't you go ahead and click on that link and let's go right into this notebook. Okay, as you can see, this notebook is interactive. So if you want to learn about line, you want to learn about line, you should be able to. Here we go. Now it's working. Here we go. So as you can see, you can learn about all these different things. There are also recordings within the notebook to explain a little bit more to you. Let's say we want to learn about line. I've got videos in here for you to watch. Also different examples of different types of line. Let's keep going. More about lines, shape, definitions, videos, different kinds of shapes. I'll explain it to you up here in the recording. So you can go through this entire book, more about shapes, and it will explain all of the elements of art to you, okay? So why don't you stop this recording and look at this notebook for about, I don't know, just go through it. Make sure you look at all the pages, click on anything that you find interesting. And when you're done with that, come back to the video and hit play. Okay, so now that you have gone through the Elements of Art notebook, I want you to look at this painting in particular. How is line used in this painting now that you've learned a little bit about line? What do you see? Are the lines straight? Are they random? What do you see as you look at it? If you like, you can take your mouse and you can kind of trace some of the lines. Sometimes that helps me, like I'm picking out an orange line right there just to trace it and find its shape. So how does the quality of the line affect the feeling of the painting or the emotion that you feel when you're looking at it? This is a Jackson Pollock, and typically we have some strong feelings about Jackson Pollock paintings. Okay, let's see. Oop, my mouse doesn't want to work. Here we go. Let's talk a little bit about shape for a minute. How is shape used in this print? What shapes do you see? Again, you can take your mouse and you can kind of trace some of the things that you're seeing. If you happen to be enrolled in geometry this year, you will probably be able to identify some of these shapes that you're seeing. So are the shapes geometric? Are they organic? What's the difference? Do you know? There's something to Google. What is the feeling or mood of the piece? How does it make you feel when you look at this? This is a Kandinsky. And we'll learn more about him later on in I think the spring. Let's look at this one. How is shape used in this painting? What shapes do you see? Again, are they geometric or are they organic? How do the shapes in this composition affect the feeling or mood of the piece? And again, if you want to go in and trace some of these with your mouse, you are welcome to do so. I love the watermelon. Let's talk a little bit about value. This is a pen drawing. This is not a photograph. This is a drawing done with a ballpoint pen, like, ooh, if I can get it in front of my camera, like this one. And if you think this is really interesting, which I do, go look up this artist and you can see some more of his work. It is unbelievable. But how is value used in this ballpoint pen drawing? How does the way that value is used affect the emotion behind the piece? And I hope that you kept your Elements of Art notebook open so that you can go back and forth and look up some of these definitions. What colors or color scheme do you see in this painting? How do these colors affect the mood or feeling of this piece? Back to your Elements of Art notebook. It had all different color schemes. It had complementary colors, analogous colors. What do you see when you look at this? Let's talk about texture for a minute. First of all, what about this? Isn't that something? Would you want to eat out of it? How is texture used in this piece? Is it actual or is it implied? So this is not a photograph. So is it actual or is it implied? How does the texture this artist chose affect the feeling of the piece? And again, would you want to eat out of this? My guess is no. So what kind of technique for showing space, we're on to the element of space, what kind of technique for showing space is used in this painting? How does this painting make you feel? Do you notice any other elements of art that are affecting the feeling of the piece? It's beautiful. Okay, so grab your paper and your whatever you have to write with, okay? We are just going to practice a few of these elements of art very quickly. You are not turning this in, so don't worry about that. Don't worry about your skill. You are the only person that is going to see this, but let's practice it to kind of deepen our understanding. So let's draw an example of a line. If we go back to, now you can start drawing on your own, but if you're struggling with some ideas of what to do, you can always go back to the notebook, and I have got lots of examples for you. So let's practice a couple of those. Grab your paper and your pen, and let's practice a couple. Now, you can always stop the video and practice a few, and then come back and hit play when you're ready to go on. How about an example of shape? Can you draw some shapes for me on your paper? And again, if you are struggling, you can come and look at some of the examples that I have for you. And you can stop the recording, and when you're ready to go on, press play again. Now this one's a little bit tougher. Let's try an example of texture. Let's go back to our notebook. Oops, went on the wrong one. There we go. As you can see, texture is the way something feels. Wet, smooth, soft, rough, bumpy, woven. And you can always stop it and press play again when you're ready to go. Let's try color. Choose your favorite colors. You can do complementary colors, analogous colors, primary colors, you pick. You can stop and press play when ready to continue. Let's try one of value. You can refer back to our Elements of Art notebook. Stop the recording. Press play when you're ready to continue. And one of space. Let's do an example of space. You can go back to your notebook and find some different ways to show space. Okay, so now that you have drawn all of your examples of the elements of art, if you would like to share, your teachers would love for you to share some of your artwork on the class Padlet. You should find a link for the class Padlet in the announcements, or you should find it in your weekly email. So if you would like to learn more and like to get ahead for next week, we have a video for you to watch called The Principles of Design. You will find a link to this in your announcements or in the weekly email. Okay, so that is our video for this week. Just a few reminders before I let you go. The course info quiz was due on 8/23. Make sure that you have turned that in. 1.03 quiz is due on 8/30. You have 3 attempts on this quiz. And as you look ahead, we have a test due, 1.09 test due on 9/13. Okay, remember that you can come to see any of your teachers during office hours, and which are on Fridays. And you can always email us if you have any questions. Have a fantastic week. Thanks for coming.